Okay, so here is number 3 from the 2019 AP exam. There's the solution already done, but I want to work through it and talk through it, so here we go. So part A, we want to find the value of integral from -6 to -2 of f of x dx. So using what we know for our rules for integrals, we know that integral from -6 to 5 of f of x dx is going to equal the integral from -6 to -2 plus the integral from -2 to 5. Okay, that's our additivity postulate or additivity rule for integrals. Now they told us in the question that integral from -6 to 5 is equal to 7. They're asking us to find the value from -6 to -2. And then from -2 to 5, we can figure it out from looking at our graph. So if we refer to the graph, from -2 to -1, we have a triangle. So that's 1/2 the height times the base. Then from -1 to +1/2, we are below the x-axis. So that's going to be minus 1/2 our base, which is 1.5, and our height, which is 1. Now we're back above the x-axis. We have another triangle from 0.5 to 2. So 1/2, our base again is 1.5, and now the height is 3. And now this last section is where it's tricky. If we look at this last section, they told us this is a quarter circle, but the way we have to do it is we want this area. Well, how do we get that area? We have to find the area of this square and then subtract this quarter circle, and that'll give us the area of what we want. So we're going to find the area of that square, which is just a 3 by 3 square, so that's 9, minus the area of that quarter circle. So that's pi/4 times 3 squared. So now we have 7 equals what we're looking for, plus, let's see, the 1/2 of 1 times 1 is 1/2, minus 1/2 of 1.5, so minus, we'll just go with 3/4, plus 1/2 of, so plus 3/4 times 3, plus 9/4, plus 9, minus 9 pi/4. Okay, triangle above, triangle below, triangle above, and then the square minus the quarter circle. When we combine all this, we get 7 equals what we're looking for. And then when we combine all these, -3/4 plus 9/4 is 6/4, plus 2/4 is 8/4, is 2. And then we're going to add on the 9 and take away the 9 pi/4. So now it's a little bit of arithmetic here. So 7 is what we're looking for, plus 11 minus 9 pi/4. Now we just move that over to the other side. Minus 11 plus 9 pi/4 plus the 7 that's there gives us what we want. So that -11 plus 7, that's -4. So we get 9 pi/4 minus 4 is equal to the value from -6 to -2 of f of x dx. Okay, so that was just part A. Part B, evaluate integral from 3 to 5 of 2 times f prime of x plus 4 dx. So again, using our rules for integrals. And the reason I picked these questions from last year is, oddly enough, these free response really could be used this year, or questions very similar to them, because they really are pretty comprehensive for what we need to cover for this course. So we can split this up and make it 2 times integral from -3 to, sorry, it's not -3. I don't know why I wrote negative, because I'm getting a little stir crazy, but that's okay. So 2 times the integral from 3 to 5 of f prime of x dx plus 4 times the integral from 3 to 5 of dx. So now this, how do we do that? Well, here's where we can use fundamental theorem. Integral of f prime of x is f of x. So it's 2 times f of b, or f of 5, minus f of a, or f of 3. Just using fundamental theorem there, plus 4 times the integral of a constant is just 4 times b minus a, or 4 times 5 minus 3. So now f of 5 and f of 3 are the x values from our graph. And that's why they gave us this weird point. They said 3 comma 3 negative rad 5, or 3 minus rad 5, because we're going to have to use it right here. We're going to have 2 times f of 5, which looking at our graph is 0, minus f of 3. So minus 3 minus rad 5 plus 4 times 2. So what does this actually give us? This actually gives us 2 times -3 is -6. 2 times negative is positive. 2 rad 5 plus 8. So when we combine all our like terms there, -6 plus 8 is 2, plus 2 rad 5. Okay. Part C. So g of x is integral from -2 to x of f of t dt. We want to find the absolute maximum value of g on the interval and justify our answer. Well, right here from this, let's remember that we can conclude that this means g prime of x equals f of x. And if we want to look for the absolute maximum, it happens either at an endpoint, and we're looking from -2 to 5, or when g prime changes positive to negative. And that happens at x equals -1. So we have to evaluate g of x at each of those values. Okay, so g of x, g of -2, by our definition above, is going to be the integral from -2 to -2 of f of t dt. Bounds are the same, that value is 0. G of -1 is integral from -2 to -1. And again, that we can get from our graph. -2 to -1, that's our triangle that's above the x-axis. 1/2 of 1 times 1 is 1/2. The last one, g of 5, is the integral from -2 to 5. And when we look at that graph, that's just the funky square minus the quarter circle. Oh, sorry, it's -2, not 2. So it's the square minus the quarter circle, plus that triangle that's above, the 1/2 of 1.5 times 3. Minus the triangle that's below. Okay, so minus the 1/2 of 1.5 times 1, and then plus the triangle that's above. So when we do all that arithmetic, it's similar to what's up there, but remember the 7's not involved in it anymore, so it's just going to be 11 minus 9 pi over 4. And now the question asked for the absolute maximum. So out of these 3 values, which one is the absolute maximum? There we go. 11 minus 9 pi over 4. And how can we know? Okay, I know a question is going to be, well, we don't have a calculator. Well, on the actual AP exam you're taking, you will have a calculator, but if you didn't have a calculator for this, how would you know? Well, let's see. Let's think about this. Pi is a little bit more than 3, so 3/4 of 9, so that's 27 over 4. 11 is 44 over 4 minus 27 over 4 is 17 over 4. That's way bigger than a half or a 0. Okay, so sometimes we have to do a little mental arithmetic. Now the last one, and here's again why I think these are good questions. We're combining more stuff. Now we're doing limits. The limit as x approaches 1 of 10 to the x minus 3 times f prime of x over f of x minus arctan of x. So what do we do when we have a limit? We sub in. So it's going to be 10 to the first minus 3 times f prime of 1 over f of 1 minus arctan of 1. Well, 10 to the first, we know, is 10. F prime of 1, looking at our graph, this is the graph of f of x. F prime is the slope. So what is the slope at 1? The slope of this curve right here, we can count boxes. We're going up 2 and over 1. So the slope is 2. So this is 10 minus 3 times 2 over f of 1. Okay, again, we can go to the graph. This is the graph of f. At x equals 1, the value is 1. So f of 1 is 1 minus arctan of 1. Arctan of 1, what angle has a tangent of 1? Well, that would be pi over 4. So when we work this out, we get 4 over 1 minus pi over 4. And that is number 3 from 2019, the way I would do it. See you guys on Monday or Tuesday. Bye.